Steelers at the Broncos. Russell Wilson getting a chance for, Justin Fields likely to start for the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Denver Broncos. Steelers favored by 2.5, over-under of 36.5. That's the lowest of the week. Can the Steelers, who found a way to grind it out with defense and field goals last week, go to Denver and get to 2-0, Chris?
I think so. I'm not going to take a rookie quarterback against this Pittsburgh defense in his first home opener. I just can't do it. And again, it didn't look good last week on Denver's offensive side of the ball. He looked like a rookie quarterback that was like, whoa, the regular season defenses and the first team defense is a whole different ball game here. And again, I don't think Denver is so talented on that side of the ball that they can just overcome it and the rookie quarterback can do some of that. I do think the Broncos defense will be a pain in the butt, certainly. But this just seems like the most perfect Steeler game ever. It seems like we're going to be just like we saw last week. And the way their defense looked, I'm going to go with it. And I like the way they ran the ball. And I think Justin Fields will get better. I'm going Steelers 19-13.
Okay. So this is interesting because I'm not going to offer any insights on who I think is going to win this game. Although Vegas, the line seems to have it be, pretty close. And I said this earlier in a few other videos, but Dan Orlovsky said it better. He used better words, and so I'm going to use what he said, and I'm just going to give him the credit for it, right? I'm looking for development, not domination from Bo Nix, and honestly, even Denver Broncos as a whole. And it's this idea of like, what are we expecting from these young quarterbacks? And it's like we're looking for development moving forward. I want to see Bo Nix continue to grow and get better. I think Bo Nix is a hyper intelligent quarterback, hyper intelligent person. He's one of those super incredibly smart, understands the playbook within seconds. I believe when you match that up with a great offensive coach, a coach who understands quarterback play, who understands offenses, the progress should be rather quick. I think it should be almost quicker than someone who's hyper athletic. Because in a lot of ways, when you're hyper athletic, you need your body and mind to kind of catch up to one another. And it's not to say that, Bo Nix isn't athletic. It's just, I'm saying those guys that are really like athletically front forward, which is why, they've achieved such high levels of success in their respective careers. And so I really think that Bo Nix and Sean Payton should be able to make pretty solid steps forwards. I think that's what happens when sometimes you see quarterbacks who maybe aren't as intelligent or don't process as quickly. And even though they've gotten a lot of starts or they've been around the block once or twice, you don't see a ton of progress. You don't see a lot of development. There's this kind of idea that older quarterbacks, like older young quarterbacks, right? Quarterbacks that pretty much have gotten as many snaps and as many games as Bo Nix has, that once you get to the NFL, you pretty much are who you are. You're not going to get that much better, especially if you're not very athletically gifted. There's kind of the philosophy that if you're a little bit younger and you enter the league, or if you're incredibly athletic, that there's more room for you to continue to grow and get better. And I'm not here to say that that's right or wrong. I don't have a strong feeling otherwise. Conceptually, I understand it. I get the argument, and I could definitely see that being accurate. I'd have to think about it more and really try to find other examples of when that was true and when it was, of course, false, because, nothing's ever 100%. But I have to imagine if that is true, one of the exceptions to that rule are going to be incredibly intelligent people, because someone who is highly intelligent, especially if you're an athlete, you're going to be adaptable. You're going to learn, you're going to grow. And even though you were exposed to probably pretty good coaches throughout your career, throughout college, high school, wherever, it's not the NFL. It's not Sean Payton. So you're going to learn even more. You're going to understand the game even more deeply. So you're going to progress, right? So maybe a Kenny Pickett with Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, there's not much more room for him to grow, not much more room for him to get better. Bo Nix with Sean Payton, there could be more room for him to grow. There could be more of a runway for him to continue to get better. And I wholeheartedly believe that. How fast will that all happen? I don't know. I do believe that it should happen sooner than later, personally, as long as he actually has the requisite skill set, right? Like the actual meat and potatoes of what it takes to be a good to great quarterback. These guys, they get it faster. It just registers quickly. They understand when they make mistakes. It's actually a good thing because it's like, okay, I understand this now. And I think that's why it was kind of a big silver lining for Bo Nix, in week 1 against the against the Broncos, against the Seattle Seahawks. But with all that said, this should be a tough defensive game, right? Like the Steelers have a good defense, or at least they appear to have a good defense. And I think that it'll be not the easiest opportunity for Bo Nix to necessarily take advantage of. With that said, I don't think the Steelers are this dominant team either, though. I mean, like, they just wiggled on by against the Atlanta Falcons, and Kirk Cousins and the Falcons hardly looked like they were a great team. And I thought they were a lot better than they were, and they can be, right? But they did not look comfortable. Kirk Cousins at times looked really confident, and other times not so good. So that was also one of those difficult games where I'm like, I don't know 100% what I'm looking at, quite frankly. But, I mean, you can't ever trust that Justin Fields is going to be consistent. The only thing that you can trust is that he's going to be inconsistent. And what does that mean? You don't know, right? I mean, he could have an awesome game and he could literally look like Patrick Mahomes, or he could literally look like he should never be in the NFL and never take a snap and not even be a backup quarterback. You have no idea what you're getting with Justin Fields, and that has been his biggest problem. You just don't know what you're getting. And so who knows? Maybe he coughs the ball up. Maybe he's getting a lot of 3-and-outs. Maybe Bo Nix is getting a lot of opportunities, good field position. They can play a little bit smaller ball, don't have to extend the field as much. I mean, who really knows? I think it's a question mark to me. I don't know what to expect, because who could ever know what Justin Fields is going to bring to the table? I mean, come on. He's wildly unpredictable. So again, more than anything, more than trying to figure out who's going to win this game, can the Broncos win, will they lose, yada, 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 I'm just looking at this point just to see Bo Nix get better, continue to be confident. I'm curious to see what lessons he learned from last game, some of the mistakes that he's already made. Has he already learned? Does he know how to execute a little bit differently? What is going to be the process? What is going to be the game plan? Is it going to be a similar game plan against the Seahawks? Like, what's it going to be? That, to me, is what I'm really looking forward to seeing. And honestly, I'm really excited because I have very high hopes for Bo Nix and Denver Broncos as a whole. And, this is all a moving process, right? I've said this a few times now, like, just nothing is 100% linear. It's just not straight up. It's always 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, 4 steps back, 2 steps forward, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Like, it's just uneven. But I do anticipate that Bo Nix should get momentum going quicker than not. What does that mean? How many games will it take? I do not know, but I think it should come sooner than later, and maybe it comes versus the Steelers. We will have to wait and see. I would love to see Bo Nix against, like, the Giants or something, or like against a team like, honestly, the Giants are just a perfect example, because I think that's a great team that you can kind of get your legs underneath you, take some risks, right, and not pay too serious of the consequences for it. Get comfortable. Unfortunately, the Broncos and Bo Nix are facing some pretty decent, at least competent and well-coached defenses back to back. And that is hard, usually good defenses and good defensive coaches, whether coordinators or head coaches, one of the hallmarks is being able to take advantage of a young quarterback, of a young rookie quarterback. That is what they do. It's a lot easier to confuse them and disrupt them. That has been very consistent in the NFL, very consistent. So again, some of these hiccups are to be expected, but I'm excited to see when they can finally land this plane. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? What are you expecting from the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix specifically? Do you think he can look significantly better versus Steelers, or do you still think that this is kind of a tough task to, a tall task to ask, him being, even as Chris Sims highlighted, a young rookie quarterback going up against a tough Steelers defense? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.